Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Stories in the Room.
This is Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room. Join film composer Anthony Marinelli, who programmed synthesizers for 7 songs on Thriller, and A&R veteran film producer Stephen Ray, who assisted Quincy Jones and was in the studio every day with Quincy and Michael.
Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room.
I'm Anthony Marinelli with my longtime close friend and co-host, Stephen Ray, bringing you the real stories directly from the talented people in the room with us during the making of Thriller, the greatest selling album of all time.
And so did you meet Michael Peters, Michael Bennett at the same time, or one before the other?
I never really met Michael Bennett. I might have been in the same room with him, but I knew Michael Peters because we were at High School of Performing Arts together. He was like 2 years ahead of me.
Oh.
And so I came in and
great.
he was still there, and he was just part of this group of dancers that we all used to hang out and get together and take classes together with Lester Wilson mostly and Jaime Rogers. And so I knew him from New York City, and he was close with a bunch of us.
So you're the next generation, really.
Yes.
All kind of came up together.
Yeah, we all came out, and he came out. He went to Germany, and he did this thing with Lester called Double Exposure. And then after we got off the road, I came to LA about a year after I came off the road with Sammy, and we were all kind of coming up together in the business. And so we were each other's family. We were each other's extended dance family.
So did that carry across in the communication then? Like there's a shorthand, right? When you grow up with people, you kind of know.
Yes.
Like it's the right.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, well, you don't quite move.
Right shorthand and right attitude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? We really, there was a sense of quality of dancing that we were really connected to. We came from Mabel Hart or Bernice Johnson, and then went through High School of Performing Arts, and that really groomed us to move into the professional world. And there was a sense of excellence that we always strove for as dancers. So I think all of those people that helped me stay relevant, in the dance world.
Yeah. So many talented students came out of that school over the years.
Yes.
It's amazing. I mean,
Yes.
there's a long list of really great talented dancers and actors.
Actors.
Yeah.
Irene Cara went to that school for a while.
Yeah, Stephanie Mills, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then some people Glenn Turman, he was just graduating when I came in, Ben Vereen.
Mm-hmm.
We were all in Golden Boy together.
You're right. Yeah.
So yeah, we had a great group of people that we came up with at High School Performing Arts, as well as we all came out to California to, try our craft out here in the warm weather.
Yeah.
In the warmth. Yes.
Then you put the work in, though, right? The school sounds like to prepare all those vastly individualized styles, because all the people you mentioned kind of took it and did something with it. They're unique, right? So it seems like they would all have really put a lot of work into it to be able to do that.
Yeah, like I said, it was a strong group of dancers, strong group of, thespians, and we loved music. Like music was really something that we loved. It wasn't just this thing that we danced to. We loved music, and we knew good music when we heard it. A few of us had been musicians. I had never been a musician, but there was something about my upbringing and my jazz background that really lended itself to interpreting the music and hearing all aspects of the music in your body. So sometimes it was the bass, and sometimes it was the guitar, and sometimes it was a trumpet. But I could hear that, and I would, try and emulate that through my body, through dancing.
Yeah, because it's like a character.
Yes.
It's the personality, at least,
It
right?
really is.
Each of the instruments in a great song, because it has to do with, the song has to be great first, but then the arrangement. And I mean, we're kind of segueing into Thriller a little bit, because we've talked about this so many times,
Yes, we
right?
have, yes.
The the amazing arrangements in Thriller. So I'm just curious, when you first heard the song Thriller, written by Rod Temperton, and really almost all of it is arranged by Rod too.
Wow.
There were a lot of contributions by the players, but they've all told us, and this is what we saw, that Rod really had it all in his head, and he put down the demos, and we kind of reimagined the demo.
Right.
When you first heard the song, based on what you just said, how did it affect you? Did it sound like anything you had heard before, and what instruments spoke to you? I'm really curious.
I hadn't heard anything like it ever, because it has so much character in it. You could feel the thrilling part of the music, the scary, zombie part of it that was really spoke through the music, and just the I guess it was the bass, I don't know, that first thing that we entered on the music, that it the way it built, the way it, and the way it layered in, and we did the next layer of steps, and the way it expanded from there, and the way we expanded with it. Music was really the blueprint to how Michael saw this, Michael Peters, and,
I was just going to say, yeah. What were the rehearsals like? I mean, because clearly you and Michael Peters were so aligned with that, with hearing everything, all the elements rhythmically, melodically, how they all converged together, and what was that like? Because you were already aligned with him in that way. What were the rehearsals like with both Michaels?
So let's talk about the audition, because we all had to audition. And Michael Jackson wanted to make sure, like Michael could have said, I want this. Mm-hmm. And Michael and the director said, no, we really want to see the dancers. We really want to know that they can create and enact this character that we want them to have. They're not just dancing, they are playing characters. And so it had to be proven to him. And then, Michael Jackson said to Michael Peters, I want your two best dancers on flanking me. And that was my best friend, Michelle Simmons, and myself were put on his side to just be his stabilizers.
Oh, that's
so
how
to
that
speak.
happened. Oh.
Yeah. And to inspire him. But let me tell you, he inspired us. This man never marked. And we had a tendency like, okay, you're going to mark this, and okay, that's what we do. We just kind of go through the counts and the, the sequencing of the steps. But he wanted to dance full out every time. But then I understood, this is why Michael Jackson, when he got on stage, that music and that dance was in his DNA, and he could just perform it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something that he thought about. It was in his DNA. Right. And it's something that I learned, and I was like, okay, he is not marking. We have to dance full out each and every time. I'm like, okay, Michael, thank you.
Life is not a rehearsal for him.
Yes, it was not a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Each and every time. He's like, we're not going to do, he would look at us like, oh, no, we're going to dance full out. I'm like, okay.
Join us for the next episode of Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room, with your hosts Anthony Marinelli and Stephen Ray. Watch our extended interviews on youtube.com/@StoriesInTheRoom. Audio-only interviews are available on all podcast networks. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok @StoriesInTheRoom. For the latest news and links, visit the website, StoriesInTheRoom.com. This podcast is produced by Christian D. Bruun and David Wolf, recorded by Audivita Studios. Additional recording by Ben Rackless. Edited by Jay Spang and Sean Hedinger. Music by Anthony Marinelli and Stephen Ray.
Michael Jackson's Thriller album.